Bow, bow,
I'm
bow.
single with some singles.
Why are you what?
Single with some singles. And who wants to mingle?
Is this what current hip hop has become?
I'm stacked like Pringles. Come on, Tom. Tell me that's not a bar.
Bars is trash.
I'm single, like I'm single with some singles.
Bro, them bars is trash.
I'm ready to mingle. I'm stacked like a Pringle.
Just admit them bars is trash.
Nah, that's where hip hop is at now. I'm single with some singles.
Only reason why I'm not gonna be upset because that's kind of how hip hop started. If you think
That's crazy.
kind of where hip
So
hop
my
is.
bars was trash, but you love a hip it to the hip it to the
I never
hip,
said
hip,
those
hop,
was my
you don't
favorite
stop,
bars
bro.
either, but I'm
No,
just saying.
but you fucks with that though.
I didn't fuck no.
Yeah.
other niggas
No,
fuck
you
with that.
fucks with that though.
No, I fuck with I go to work.
Yo,
You heard the old school hip hop I play.
you
My
not-
niggas was lyricists.
You not gonna tell me that you didn't fuck with that.
Them niggas was lyrical. That was not my shit. That did not get rotation. I did not.
What you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the. Yo,
I didn't like.
when niggas be like, yo, niggas nowadays can't rap, but that's some shit you grew up on. Fuck out of my face, bro.
I'm just saying.
Y'all old niggas be tripping me the fuck out sometimes.
But I'm glad you brought that. Well, you kind of brought that up. It's because I've been having this. If you've been paying attention to the Facebook page lately, I've been literally going down the rabbit hole of what everybody listens to. So, first of all, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Deaf Fresh Show. It is I, Mr. Tone Deaf. It is my partner, Young Fresh. We are back in the building.
Back in the building.
As we celebrate 12 years of Deaf Fresh Show. Yep, 12 years of the Deaf Fresh Show. 12 years.
12 of them things.
12 years of the Deaf Fresh Show.
Somebody could check, Joe.
Nigga, I'm working on getting a check. Hold on.
I don't know. Check like Nagy.
That's part of the reason why my next announcement, which Facebook already knew about.
Drum roll, please.
Shit, you the one with the buttons, nigga. No, but we
don't got a drum
actually
roll button,
TDR has officially gone. You can say going back to the radio world.
Yes, we have.
So for those of you guys who don't know, who's been listening to us over the course of the last 5 years,
5 years,
6 years, we have been podcasting. But
Podcast.
before then, we started off as an internet radio station. But technology was trash back then.
Trash is fun.
Bro, I can't listen
But
to
shout out to Blog Talk though.
I mean, no disrespect. Blog Talk definitely helped get us where we are. And their storage is better. So like if we record here, then we upload to Blog Talk,
Be a lot better.
it's good. But to actually physically record on Blog Talk, never again.
I mean, but
Never again.
it's kind of like somebody has to try it first.
And that's why I'm not
and
mad.
be bad at it for someone to see it and be like, you know what? I like what you started, but how about we turn the table this way?
No.
And it looks that way. And then they be like, oh, okay, yeah.
And
we keep
this
advancing.
is what I want to make sure. I don't want to get it twisted. I did not hate Blog Talk. Blog Talk actually is what made us lazy in the beginning. Because they gave us a point and shoot concept to everything. Oh, just upload your music here. Here's a phone number. Give this to everybody. They can join the show. Boom. You now have a radio station. And that's literally what it was.
Mm-hmm.
We were technically podcasting long before there was a word for it, but that's what we were doing. It was just the fact that it sounded like a fucking answering machine when you go back to listen to it because the quality wasn't there.
That's crazy.
And it was only because quality wasn't there. Then when we finally jumped into the podcasting world, the technology was better, but I had to do too much to get there that I was like, I'm not going to try to work on a radio station because I got to do too much to even get there. Then the technology finally caught up. And now it's point and click. Nigga, it's easier. It was easier to get the radio station up and going than it was to fucking update contacts in your phone.
Hey, Loki, that shit kind of difficult in the
that's why I use that as an example because
you like, damn, I thought I just say that shit.
Like, nigga, if you use the wrong email address, bro, it's a whole nother contact. Like, dog, this ain't her number no more.
No, you be like, why is there 6 of one person here?
Why is there 6 numbers? Which one is the number that they actually use? You know, because there's some people I haven't texted in months because I don't know which one of their numbers is a good number. And I realize that is how I lose a lot of friends.
Because you just don't follow up.
I just
I
don't want to be that dude that you call. It's like, hey, can I speak to Mo? And like, hey,
low key, I'll send out I'll send like the eye emojis, and then if you respond, I like hit you with the thumbs up. Hey, how you doing?
Hit you with the blink.
And then if you don't respond, I kind of just delete your contact.
I mean, I don't.
I'm like, yeah, this number doesn't work anymore.
I just leave both numbers, and I eventually will try the other one a different day. But I want to let you know, like, programming is difficult.
On a scale of like 1 to 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 6.
That's a 6.
And here's the reason why programming is difficult. You can't program a radio station based on what you like.
Right.
And I think that's where things become difficult because you have to let's take the whole the podcasting concept out of it because that's the structure of ours. But if you think about just as a regular radio programmer, you got to play music that's either everybody's listening to. And if you like Mimi, who only listens to 90s music, you got to find out what the hell is out here. So you got to find out what's hot, what's people listening to, what people care about. Why should we play this heifer? Why should we play this weak dude? These bars are trash. This is what y'all going to concerts for. Got to do all that. And it's like, some of y'all I don't fuck with.
Like the music?
Yeah. So
yeah.
Like, I don't.
It's fucking nuts.
I just don't fuck with y'all.
All right.
So I be wanting to play.
Who don't you fuck with though?
It's a lot of new cats I don't fuck with, dog. And it's not even like them personally. It's like I can't get into your music right now, bro. I can't do it. So I made a post on the page earlier today, and I was like, what new young artists that y'all vibing with right now. And my boy Guns from the Collective podcast, he put Gideon. Okay. I was like, okay, let me.
The deep voice nigga? Was it the song Heartbreak Anniversary?
I just left it. Whatever album popped up, I let it play. I was like, okay, let me see about this, what I like. Because, if you catch my attention, I'll probably pick that track. And then, if you use Apple to find your music, you just go to who got the star. Like, what song got the star by your name? And 9 times 10, that's probably the popular song off your album, right? So I just let it play, and I'm like, I can't get jiggy with this shit. I listen to a lot of stuff.
What does it sound like?
It sounded like chalks on a nail board to me, and it wasn't that it's bad. It was just maybe I wasn't in the right vibe for it.
Like, can you describe like how he sounded?
It just, I don't know, bro.
Like, was he screaming at you?
No, I feel like when it came on, I just like, nah, I'm just gonna go post it. You know how like you get somebody and he was like, oh, okay, you got this mixtape from somebody and you let it play because whoever you was with was really vibing with it, but in the minute they get out that car, you just put it back in the case and just go back to what you're normally doing.
It's terrible.
It's not that it's terrible. It's like I can't listen to this right now. I'm not feeling this. It's not my right now. So I was like, let me cut this off. Because I have to also remind myself right now, lately, musically, I have not been in a true hip hop bag. Like the other day, I found myself listening to, is it Nico? INIKO? New Chick.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, she's another example of a YouTube sensation where like she did covers and then she started doing little small pieces of stuff and then it caught on because it was so catchy. And now she kind of like low-key blowing up. But I've been listening to a lot of her lately. And then yesterday, her itself.
I like her.
Yeah, and then Coco Jones literally came back because, season 2 of Bel Air is out.
Yes.
So I find myself tend to, occasionally going and listen to her.
That one song,
I See You.
Is that the song?
Her song, the main song.
Because
Yeah.
it's all over TikTok, and it's
I
like you
See
can't
You.
escape this. I like the way you put your hand. I was like, yo,
I
what
See
is
You.
this shit? I was like, yo, this is kind of fire though.
It is
That's-
definitely fire.
Definitely slid that on the playlist.
Right.
Right.
And that, I think that because I'm in that bag right now, I'm not giving nobody else a fair chance.
I can see that.
And I think that, and that's why it's so difficult. Like, and then I would be like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna pass the responsibilities over to Tommy. But then I gotta remember, Tommy listens to old music like I do sometimes.
Right.
So I can't expect for him to find a fire NBA YoungBoy track.
But I think
Now, if he could, I'm not mad at him.
But I think that generation of music, okay. I think that's why it's a good thing that you have a big array of podcasters that you work with,
Right.
because you have guys that are, there's you and Tommy who are the older generation of hip hop. So it's like he may not be a favorite, but you come from like the Rakim era.
Definitely
type
Rakim.
type shit.
Right.
Like Wu-Tang, like them y'all niggas. Then like y'all,
I got a confession. I wasn't a big Wu-Tang fan like most niggas was.
I mean, but this ain't
like,
even
I fuck with them, but I mean, I could skip a couple of tracks or an album and be okay.
This ain't even about like them being, again, it's not even about them being your favorite. It's just the time period in which you grew up in. So it's like, again, you were there. I ain't gonna say you was there for the birth of hip hop because I don't think you that old.
I mean, technically, we were born about the same time.
Because hip hop, like the birth of hip hop, that's late 70s, right?
Yeah, around about the same time. I was born late 70s. Nigga, I was born in 78.
Okay.
So I think Sugar Hill Gang may have dropped the same year I was born. Not even trying to be funny.
So Tony, hip hop is the same fucking age. So he grew up with hip hop.
I literally grew up with hip hop.
Right. So
hold on, now I'm gonna look that up.
Then it's like you got like niggas in my age bracket who are like the Lil Waynes of the world, the Jay-Z's, and like we caught the tail end of the Biggie Pop type shit. So like we're in the middle where we see where it came from. We live in the now. And then, you got the young niggas that you hang out with. Who's that pod? Topic of the Trenches?
Yeah.
I'm sure they know all the new young niggas.
They are the new young niggas.
My point exactly.
Like,
bro.
no, they because
isn't
they're
one of them niggas named like Bankroll?
Yeah.
Like these
300 Bankroll and Fat Boy Fresh.
These are the new niggas, bro. That is what hip hop look like.
And I'm okay with that. It's just for me, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. As a program director, like, it has to be difficult,
bro. Look,
because you have to be open-minded.
I'm gonna tell you how old. Like this is how advanced hip hop has gotten. And even though I'm not that old, I feel old. NBA YoungBoy, right?
Right.
You assume that's his rap name, right?
That's what I would assume.
That is not like that's not his rap name. I think that's just what niggas call him. Like the NBA is an acronym for Never Broke Again.
Right.
Like that's the click.
Blame ASAP Crew.
Right. So like there's ASAP Ferg and there's ASAP. So there's an NBA something else. I think his name is just YoungBoy, but we call that or YoungBoy NBA. Like YoungBoy Never Broke Again. We just call him NBA YoungBoy. Like we just gave him a name. That's not even his name.
But here's the thing with us. That's normal because we're wrestling fans. We'll give somebody a name and a gimmick and a heartbeat, and you just got to run with it if you want to be successful. Because
that's true.
Like you couldn't be YoungBoy and expect for us to keep fucking with you, because eventually you got to grow the fuck up. Then what you gonna be?
I do have a serious question though, Tom.
What is your serious question?
Do you think the gays are bullies?
You really gonna do that? You know we are now officially on the radio, right?
I can't say. that.
You can say it. I just want you to know that.
I'm sorry.
Luckily, this is live. So.
Do you think the community is bullies?
I think they can be bullies with their agenda. I think they can be bullies with their agenda. Not all of them are aggressive about that, but some of them definitely can, and they become the butt of jokes because of it, and then they get offended when they become the butt of jokes because you're being aggressive with what you are. Like one of my favorite TikTok jokes is when it's the dude that gets arrested, and then the police comes in. And he was like, "Oh, I'm here to protect you, ma'am." Like, how do you know, ma'am? That's offensive. That's offensive because that's how they act sometimes. Like, you want us to call you by your pronouns, yet we are in a space right now where it's all still confusing because there's no clear-cut answer across the board for everybody to comprehend to give you what you're asking for. Because you may come in here, sit down, do a podcast, and have a completely different mindset than the next person behind you who comes in and sits down and does a podcast. And that's how the community is. Lesbians may want one thing. Gay men may want something else. Transitional people may want a third. Queers may want it all. We don't know.
Transitional people?
Look, bro, that's about the safest way we could say it.
I mean,
is that not what a transsexual? It's a transitional.
We don't have to keep talking about it.
Transitional.
We don't have to. We don't have to stay here, but we can't keep walking.
You didn't have to go back to it.
I didn't.
I was down the block. You decided to go back and look at the window again.
I couldn't believe you said it like that.
Transitional people.
That is fucking terrible.
How is that terrible? We are talking about a sensitive topic in a sensitive way, and the most sensitive of the group
is to call them
the transitional people.
Is to call them dead people.
Dead people. What? See,
I mean, when you die, they say you transition.
Oh my God!
Is that not what they say? Don't.
I mean, technically, you killing the old you.
What the fuck?
If you're transitioning from a woman to a man, are you not killing the woman side of you?
That's true.
See?
So, okay, I'll take it a step further. If you so let's say that you were a woman and you transitioned into a man.
Okay.
And now as a man, you are now dating a woman or whatever. You just dating.
Okay.
And you get caught cheating. And you be like, nah, babe, that was the old me.
Look,
I hate it here. I swear to God.
I'm only laughing because you go through all of this to become a better version of yourself. Somewhere where you are comfortable, you are happy with who you are, and you still step out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand
that's the
that as a person who transitioned from what you were to who you are now, and the individual that's dating you accepted your complete backstory, and you cheated on that person,
and then pulled that out the tuck. It was like, that's the old me.
I'm not even gonna go on that because that's probably just trying to soften the anger. Because anytime you get in trouble with your significant other by cracking a joke, sometimes is the only reason why you ain't had your throat slit.
That's the old me.
So I let that slide just for safety purposes. But no, that is disrespectful. It's not necessarily the cheating aspect. It's the fact you cheated on somebody who accepted you for who you are now and your past transgressions. You transition to a man to turn into a no good man.
No good nigga.
Like this is not the choices you're supposed to make in life, dog. If anybody, you're supposed to turn into like.
But I mean, in her defense, maybe she got tired of people treating her like a bitch.
So you cheat on her.
And you get tired of people treating you like a bitch, so you turn into a no good nigga.
You leave her.
This is crazy.
See, the difference is you didn't get her pregnant, so you ain't got to stay there. You could leave my guy.
Tom, some people just cheat. That's the craziest shit of all time.
Did you cheat when you was a woman?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, because if you cheated when you was a woman, because they always say once a cheater, always a cheater. You was born again, my guy, and you opted to cheat in.
Maybe they felt like if they transition, their body count start over.
That don't mean you go cheat though.
Yo, look, wait. If you a woman and you become a nigga, does your body count start over?
I would think so because you're dealing with a new batch of people.
Yeah, I mean, and like at first you had a pussy, now you got a dick, so this don't count because this is brand new.
Let me ask you this question.
Like you ain't even drove it yet.
I see. This brings up a very interesting question. When you are a woman in this scenario, were you attracted to women? So, did you date women? So, transitioning means that you can go from a lesbian to a straight.
Because you used to, what? See, we've been here too long.
You started to go back and look, and you opened the door and said, "Let's go see what's in here." I told you I was down the block already.
I'm very sorry that happened.
No, it's your fault. But
sorry that happened.
We were out. Well, the world was nice enough for everybody to be outside this past few days.
Yeah, the weekend was nice.
The weekend was nice. So the fact that we got rain and a tad bit of cold.
Well, Thursday, Friday, Saturday was decent.
Yeah, because me and the babies took a mental health day and we didn't even leave the house. That's what made that extra funny.
Sunday opened his ass cheeks and farted.
You gotta remember, y'all gotta. Okay, I need people from Wisconsin to realize one thing: is summer doesn't officially start until the 21st of June. So spring can do whatever the hell it wants between now and then. Sometimes it's in a good mood. Sometimes it's in a bad mood. Sometimes it wants to be a whole bitch. What are you laughing at?
You calling the weather a bitch is crazy.
The weather is a bitch.
I'm just saying, bro. We not asking for it to be summer. We just asking for it to not be fucking wet and cold.
Sometimes
I can take 40, 50 degrees, but let it be sunny.
Nah, bro, that's not how this works. It's spring. You do what the hell it wants.
It was wet and cold. It's like the fucking world just blew his nose on us.
Spring is the most unstablest weather.
Speaking of blowing your fucking nose.
Good. I don't like where this is going.
You ever find yourself down like a rabbit hole on like Snapchat? Because for some odd reason,
Snapchat, no. TikTok, yes.
Every fucking app we use has the feature of like reels.
Right.
But like with Snapchat, it'd be like specific to like a certain topic.
Okay, you talking about that little section where they give you a bunch of stuff that you didn't subscribe to?
Right.
Yeah.
But like it'll be a few comment interests. Like it'll be like basketball highlights, football highlights, wrestling highlights.
Right.
Because that shit I follow on Snapchat.
Right.
And then it'd be a bunch of random shit that I never knew existed. Like for as smart as I think I am, I'd be like dumb to a lot of shit that's probably just actual common knowledge.
Okay, like what?
Like a cow having like mucus.
That's not your fault.
No, but you would think like that. It got a nose. That would happen.
It's not your fault. And here's the reason why I say that. Public school failed us because there's a lot of shit that we got lied to about for so long, or we just got completely left out the equation that it's not even in our mind to think about stuff like that. Like, prime example, growing up, what are two animals that we were always taught hate each other's guts no matter what?
Cats and dogs.
That's not true at all.
That's a fact.
That's not true at all.
There's so many people that got a cat and they got a dog. And I've seen the cat be protective of the dog.
Right.
I've seen the dog be protective of the cat.
But yet they made us believe that cats and dogs cannot be in the same place or else they will instantly start fighting. They even made movies based on the fact that there's this behind the scenes war that's going on
cats and dogs.
between cats and dogs. But that's not true. Then they made it seem like lions are the king of the jungles, and when a lion comes, everybody runs in fear.
Also not true.
Yet there be days where lions get punked repeatedly.
It is people in the wild that will run fades with the lion.
Big facts. Animals we just think are so friendly. With hippopotamuses are supposed to be friendly.
No, they kill everybody.
They have attitudes for no reasons. Elephants are supposed to be scared of mice, but they don't forget shit.
Nah, they ain't forget that old lady either.
Or that one little baby elephant that tried to get that chocolate ass. You remember them
All
cheeks.
right.
But
Speaking of elephants, have you seen what they've been saying about the Dalai Lama?
Yes.
Folks gotta chill.
Okay.
It's not funny, but it's like, yo, all niggas be on a different type of time.
Okay, so first and foremost, because you and bro said this, and I honestly have to say the same thing. I didn't know Fan was still alive.
Apparently, the Dalai Lama's like the Pope. It's a replaceable job.
Yes.
So
okay.
You retire out when you die out. And even if you die out, it's another nigga that's gonna take your place. But I'm like, are all Dalai Lamas old? Or like, do you gotta be like 173 years? Like, how do you get the job to be the Dalai Lama?
I don't know. But I think what happened, okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, who's listening, what basically happened was in the story, the Dalai Lama who goes around and he visits, people and stuff like that. And,
he be making house calls.
Right. Sometimes he's asked to come there and do he's like the most sanctified Buddhist monk of all Buddhist monks. So it's a title. The Dalai Lama is a title like the Pope.
Oh, this is how you're using this popularity?
Yeah, it's how you say it. It's a title. So he went to go visit this family, and there were some kids there. And what people don't know is he's very playful. Hold on, let me get this. We'll get to why I'm going this direction. He's very playful. So while messing with a kid, he told a kid to suck my tongue. Now, here's where I think the disconnect of society comes. No, it is. Because I'm gonna tell. Let me finish. I'm gonna tell you where the disconnect is. Number one, he speaks a completely different language, right? Right? Okay. Shit gets lost in translation. Okay. How many times as Black people we say stuff that we understand and what it means, but people on the outside looking in take it the wrong way or they get lost. Prime example. To the window, to the wall. The sweat drops down my balls. All ski, 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 ski. Now, we know exactly what the skeeting is, right?
Okay.
Clear as day.
I see
folks.
I see where you're going, but I don't think it's the same.
Hold on. Yeah, it is. It's exactly the same.
It can't be.
White folks were out here skeeting in board meetings to the song. They were just singing it like it was nothing until they found out what it meant. And they were shocked and appalled. They were hurt. They wanted Yin Yang Twins to suffer and never be able to make music again after they found out what it meant.
No, that's not
okay.
That's not their
now,
fault.
suck my tongue in a playful manner for an individual who is old and disconnected was not saying it in a sexual manner, but because today's society over-sexualized everything and the fact it was a kid. Because in all honesty, he was basically sticking out his tongue, being funny. And that's how he looked at it. That's why everybody who goes to war for him said it was innocent. Whereas in society took it and made it something way greater than what it was, like you are. Because you are connected to society, social media, and the internet. Whereas in this dog probably wouldn't even know what a cell phone looked like if someone gave it to him.
So, I can't believe you, fam.
I'm just saying, bruh.
I let you have the floor for 5 minutes for you to say that.
because you are looking at it from a perspective of a sexual manner. He did not say it, bro. The man has been celibate since the day he got the fucking title.
Tom.
So sex is not even on his mind. He is not a Catholic priest.
I don't care. Don't speak to people like that, Tom. Like we not playing like that, fam. Nah.
You might not be
That
playing,
shit's
but they
wild.
might play like that.
Did you see how uncomfortable that kid looked?
That kid was not uncomfortable. They faces all look like that. No
Yo,
matter
what? Are you trying to get us like?
But at the same time, this is the same dude who told a woman that she should be more attractive because she was not attractive.
Who?
The Dalai Lama in 2019, he told an interview woman that she should be more attractive.
So he want kids to suck his tongue and he telling bitches they ugly. He is nuts.
He says what he wants to say, and people can interpret it whatever way they want to. And sometimes things don't come out right, my guy. I'm just saying, I'm not mad at him.
You never been suck my tongue.
Now,
that's just nuts.
Now, here's my thing. I'm not defending him in the sense of saying what he did was right. What I'm saying is y'all shouldn't really go to war on him like this. It's an honest mistake that he openly apologized for it because of the misinterpretation. Folks want him like.
Could he make that honest mistake with you?
I wouldn't probably. I would. You know what's funny?
I'm asking you a question.
You know what's funny? I would have corrected him in the moment.
Could he reach out, shake your hand, and just stick his tongue out and say, "Suck my tongue"?
That's
to
different.
you.
That's
to you.
No, that's different. No. It is.
He playing though.
It's different though because I'm an adult. So you shouldn't be playing with the adults the same way you play with kids.
You shouldn't be playing with kids like that.
How many times have you stuck your tongue out at your little sister because she got on your nerves?
Never.
See, that's because KK whooped your ass. Why?
It's not in my back like that. Weird.
I've stuck my tongue out at my daughters before being funny, and they've done it back.
But you ain't never said "suck my tongue." That's the weird shit.
It's weird because of how we interpret it. It could also have been translated wrong. It could.
Did he say it in another language?
He only speaks another language. He don't speak English.
Well, how the fuck did that? Who's the translator? You know what? I don't even care. I don't care.
Let me clarify you when I say translated incorrectly. We often say words a certain way, but in the other countries they may say it different. You know how we joke around with Facebook, right?
Yes.
And sometimes we might say Book of Faces.
Right.
Okay. Other people, because the way their words have to be combined to make Facebook, if you say it verbatim, it may say Book of Faces.
You shooting this sick ass nigga a lot of bail. And I know I know that you like to play devil's advocate for the sake of the fact that this is a podcast. And I get it, Tom, because I do it with me. Like, you gotta be the other side. I understand, but you gotta stop shooting this weirdo. Bail, fam.
I'm just saying, bro. The narrative of other cultures, customs, and social influences can change and make something feel worse than what it really is. That's all I'm saying.
I just want you to look at the narrative that you really paint.
He made a mistake.
We're not even talking.
And y'all translate.
We're not even talking about the Dalai Lama no more. If this nigga had someone on his team to translate his language into English, and he could have said, "Excuse me, good morning," and stuck his tongue out because that's how he greet the kids, right? And when the story got out, his translator wrote "suck my tongue." He should be fucking fired. Cause how do you make that mistake? You know what I mean?
I hear you. I was responding to the group.
Yeah, like how do you make that mistake? That's absolutely nuts. Completely wild. But in other news, have you seen what is the big roar in the hip hop community?
You know what's happening this time in
Jim Jones
Niggerville
said Pusha T should not be top 50 the greatest rappers of all time.
of all time.
Of all time.
He's not wrong.
I guess it was the somebody just made a list. I don't know if it was Billboard or I think it was Billboard, but they just made a top 50 list.
Here's my problem with these lists. And when they slap the word all time on there. We just talked about how old hip hop is.
Right.
Okay. We're talking about, because I'm 44. Let's just say hip hop. I think because rappers are like dropped in 79. So let's say hip hop's about 43, 44.
Right.
Okay. Let's give the pass on that. Maybe older because we don't know what niggas was doing in crates behind buildings before an actual record label was made. But
it was a lot of handshake deals.
It was a lot of handshake deals. Nobody made an album to a rapper's delight, so that's going to be our starting point by definition. Even then, we're talking about 44 years of rappers who have came and went. And he's higher than Warren G, but I can definitely name 50 rappers who I personally feel that are better than Pusha T. Not saying that Pusha T is not good, but I know for a fact I can name 50 better of all time. Now, are we talking about sales? Are we talking about influence? Because even if we're talking about influence, 50, Pusha T basically really only had 2 great moments in his career.
I was really on Jim Jones' side.
I'm just saying, since you brought it up.
No, I was on Jim's side.
I have no beef with Pusha T.
No,
he has his moment. He has great bars. He's definitely wrote stuff for Kanye, so I know he got a pen game.
I will put,
but he's not top 50.
I will put Pusha T in the same category I will put Fabulous in.
And I wouldn't even put Fab in the top 50 either.
Right. Like Fab is nice. Like Fab can rap. But does Fab have a classic album? No. I ask this question on Facebook all the time, and they say, "No, stop asking." The answer is no. It will always be no. I mean, Fab got a dope ass mixtape series, like the Soul Food mixtape series.
Right. I mean, and I think that's where a lot of
he's got good hip hop moments. Like I guess if you
and you know what, that's another thing. Mixtapes is also why I can honestly say there are more than 50 people above Pusha T, because a lot of people have phenomenal mixtape runs. They just didn't have good albums.
But when we say top 50 of all time, what are we like? What is the criteria to make this list?
And that's where my issue stands at.
Because if we, again, are talking about just what it is to rap, the art form of putting words together, metaphors, similes, double entendres, or telling a story, he's definitely better than a lot of niggas when it's just the art form of what rapping is.
But honestly, but here's my thing though, and this is not, I don't know who all works at Billboard, so I don't know who's pulling the trigger on these lists and whatnot, but I don't trust Billboard's thought process. Because I go to Billboard Top 100, and the first thing I pull up is greatest of all time Hot 100 songs. Guess what number 1 is?
Some bullshit.
Blinding Lights by The Weeknd.
Didn't that song just come out not too long ago?
You have it now. We're talking all time. So music has been around for a long time. Guess what song is number 2? And this is why it pisses me off that song is number 1.
Michael Jackson.
Nope, it's not even Mike.
Oh, who is it?
Chubby Checkers, The Twist.
Huh?
You do the twist.
I mean, I know the song,
but here's the reason why The Weeknd being above that song irritates me. We are adolescents in today's music life, whereas in Chubby Checkers, the twist came out back when our grandparents were younger than us, and we
That's
still
right.
know that song.
Yeah.
We know the song when we hear it.
Mm-hmm.
That means at that time that song is timeless.
Facts.
That means that that song has transcended generations.
Facts.
I've never heard this fucking Blinding Light song by The Weeknd,
I can't say I know that.
but I
one
know
either.
how to do the twist. Will I do it? Nah,
That's
but I
fact.
know how to do it.
Yeah, I don't know who's in charge of making.
I don't,
this
and
list.
that's why when I hear these things, like, bruh, you not gonna sit here and tell me that people you like is up. Who's voting?
Mhm.
And that makes a big difference too, because who's your target audience? You not out here interviewing grandmas,
Not at all.
because you're not gonna tell me Auntie Ruthia is over here listening to The Weeknd Blinding Lights. Yet number 5 is Uptown Funk with Bruno Mars.
I'm convinced.
I feel
that
like Uptown Funk was a way better song.
they don't let no fans vote on these
It
lists.
can't be, dog.
Because some of the shit that be like number one, like, yo, bro, what? Nobody I know will put any of this shit in their top 5.
Nope.
But
See, now, I see
so
now.
Tom, you are a producer, right?
By definition, yes.
So as a producer,
I didn't do it.
who would be your top 5 podcasts?
Top 5 podcasts.
Yes.
You can't ask me. You can't ask me that question. Because here's the reason why.
Why not?
Being where we are in this business and how much I'm so focused on growing our brand and everybody who comes through these doors, I don't have time to listen to anybody that's not us. Like my downtime, I don't listen to podcasts because I hear y'all so much. I don't want to saturate myself.
I
So
was
I don't.
talking about some other shit, but continue to go on this tangent.
Yeah. You said it was my top 5 favorite podcasts, right?
Right. You didn't have it didn't have to be the city.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm getting at. So I don't have time to listen to nobody who's not us because I'm wasting time consuming somebody else's content when 9 times out of 10, I'm probably got to edit somebody else. Then when you factor in the radio station, now I got to get our program together, look for people who can be on our network. So listening to other people is always business. I don't have time to listen to podcasts for leisure. See. But I do have some that I did used to follow a lot when we wasn't this big. Earn Your Leisure will always hands down be in my top 5 listenings, no matter what. So if I ever decide to sit down and listen to podcasts because I just want to, they'll always be there because I always got to look at new things business wise.
These are great PC answers.
No, these are actually my real ass answers.
I know. I fucks with it.
I hate the fact that they don't record anymore, but 2 Dope Queens was funny as fuck.
I
love them. I really did.
These political answers.
Huh?
I don't know what office you're running for, but I vote.
These are not political answers, my guy.
It's okay, Tom.
Dog, you really want me to be a nigger all the time, don't you?
No, I don't. I'm glad. Put your CEO hat on.
I'm just like, I'm not a nigger.
Some things you can't say. I get it.
I'll say everything.
I'll fuck with it.
See, now I gotta physically go to my list.
I fucks with it. It's some shit you just can't say.
Not even about can't say. This is what I really don't. Plumbing the Death Star. Okay.
They killed the Death Star?
No.
The aluminum Falcon?
Plumbing the Death Star is the name of it. All right, so peep guy.
That's some nerd shit, ain't it?
Definitely some nerd shit.
I fucks with it.
But it's the nerd shit that helped me figure out how to refine us and the way we do our shows. So when we're not being serious and we're just asking random ass shit, it's because I learned the format from them. The first episode that got me hooked on them was, how do you become a stormtrooper?
I don't know.
That's the question. Is it a job on LinkedIn? Do you get referred to by a friend? Like, how do you become a henchman?
Yeah, they showed us in the Ninja Turtles, and I still don't know how them niggas got in the foot.
I know that it's an app. I can't remember what I was watching, but Was it Venture Brothers? It's an app. But that was just recently that became a thing. But when this podcast came out, that was the very first episode. It was like, how do you become a stormtrooper? And I got locked in on them. 85 South, of course. Poured Minds, because ooh, I love me some big Lex. You Crabtree, I love me some Lex.
Lex P.
Yes.
No, I follow her on the Instagrams.
I don't know, bro. It was the fact that she's just goofy. And Ghetto Love Goes recorded earlier, and Mike and Johnny said something. Oh, we're gonna have them on the show one of these days too. Mike and Johnny said something that I think is actually true for all men. It's like we like women to make us laugh too.
Yes.
Like they always say a man can laugh his way into some pussy, but a woman can laugh her way into a relationship.
Facts.
Like if you get my jokes, if you can go bar for bar with me in my dry humor, oh, I'm gonna give you the world.
Man. Oh God. Yeah, that's facts, bro. Be funny.
If you can go bar for bar with my dry humor, like, why would I want to lose you?
Right, be funny.
Why would I want to lose y'all? Women are so hell bent on basically trying to get a relationship for that man to pay all her responsibilities that y'all don't even care to make us laugh in the process.
See, this is the thought, like that's tight. Like motherfuckers say, what do you bring to the table?
And if she say humor, we don't need nothing else.
That's what I'm saying.
Your sex can be semi-trash, but if you bring humor, I can work with this.
Right. Like, can you make me laugh? I don't give a fuck what I ain't gonna say I don't care what your credit score look like. But
that's because you got good credit.
I'm just saying.
When you got bad credit, you don't care about a bitch's credit score because y'all gonna build it back up together.
I'm just saying, like, you know.
And I think my last one is Small Dosage. Amanda Seales. I've always liked Amanda Seales to begin with.
What? Why?
Why I like Amanda Seales?
Yeah.
I like an outspoken woman. Tell me how you feel. And she makes me laugh. So that's a twofer.
She should probably shut up sometimes.
No, you got a podcast. She's the epitome of a podcast. But the real reason why I like, other than the fact that I've always loved Amanda Seales, period, her podcast was one of the first monologue podcasts that I really heard, which helped me figure out how to teach monologue podcasts how to be better. And she was the first podcast I heard that had sound effects. So thank her for the buttons.
I would not thank Amanda Seales.
Why? Give her her flowers. Give her her flowers. What about you? What are your top five?
Top five podcasts?
Because I know you listen to a lot of nigger shit.
Low key, I think I listen to.
Because you definitely listen to Joe Budden.
What's in my rotation? My rotation is Joe Budden, Rory and Mal, $1 Million Worth of Game. I'll listen to the Undisputed podcast.
Sound like a bunch of nigga shit.
Well, I mean, Gillian Wallow, that's $1 Million Worth of Game.
Oh shit, I forgot my niggas. Comedy Trap House. That's Dormitainment.
It's very high, But yeah, like Gillian Wallow. So yeah, $1 Million Worth of Game, Joe Budden, Rory and Mal. I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts, low key.
You know what? I can't listen to wrestling podcasts.
Yeah, listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts.
Because even though I follow Wrestle Talk, I always skip their podcast episodes.
Well, see, the way I like to consume my wrestling content, I like to consume it more on the historical fact side. Like, tell me a story about a specific time in the business type shit.
Right.
I can't listen to wrestling opinions per se. Because everybody's got an opinion about wrestling. And whether it's good or bad, like, the internet is making me really starting to hate people's like opinion about a lot of shit
Okay, I can agree with you on that.
because whether it's good or bad, like motherfuckers just open their mouth and start talking. And sometimes I don't be here for that shit, like especially like sports. Like, cause some shit just be fucking egregious, man. Like, yo, who is talking to you? Shut the fuck up. But yeah, so like when it comes to wrestling podcasts, yeah, it's more on the historical facts. Like Bruce Pritchard talks about a specific character and how we got here, and that type of shit. It's more like a history lesson versus niggas and sitting around giving an opinion. Oh well, Roman's been champ for too long. Like, nah, I can't listen.
I mean, I agree with him on that, but I think that's another reason why I'm kind of annoyed with podcasts outside of the ones I work on, because
it's the same conversation.
And somebody said that
every podcast is the same conversation.
Somebody said that.
What do you bring to the table? Why do you got 6 baby daddies? You fucking on the first date, and now I got this 90 day. Like, what? We're having the same conversation, and it's the same opinion.
I agree with you on that.
Nothing changes. Like, niggas just had this conversation for the sake of content. So it's either we having this conversation about relationships, or it's a woman who bashing niggas, or it's a nigga who bashing women. And you're only and you're just like, you bashing women because you had 1 to 2 bad experiences with 1 to 2 people. Like, you had 2 bad experiences, and now you think all women are evil.
I have an issue with the oversaturation of podcasts. It's kind of like what you were saying. People are just out here bashing, and it's the same conversation over and over again. But my issue is none of them ever reaches a point of resolution. Like, yes, go ahead and bash these 2 bad relationships you had, right? But talk about at least what you learned during that. What did you grow from it? How you plan on not making your 3rd relationship be another bad relationship? If the common denominator between both relationships seems to be you, let's talk about what you need to fix. Who let her in the building anyway? Like, she just texted us, "Hey, I'll be there soon. Someone let me in."
Yeah,
and she in.
Yeah, I don't know how she got in.
That ass.
That's a lot of ass.
But
that's that out loud. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but we're on the air now. They don't see it. They didn't see it.
That's my pod.
And I think that's what the biggest issue is with me in regards to it. So wrestling podcasts were the first ones that really became very oversaturated.
Yes, like it's definitely the same opinion.
It's the same opinion, and a lot of them don't have, like you say, historicalness to them. It's a Monday. Let's talk about what happened on Monday night. Let's talk about what happened on NXT. Let's talk about what happened on AEW. Let's talk about what happened on Impact. Let's talk about what happened on Friday, where we had 17 different wrestling shows going on. Let's talk about Wild, because we got to show the women respect as well too. Sunday was a pay-per-view. Let's talk about the pay-per-view. Boom, let's do this all over again. Now, it don't even feel like you're a podcast. You're basically just an editorial.
With a stupid ass opinion.
You're just an editorial at that point. You're just recapping everything that happened, and you're constantly saying the same thing until the storyline ends. And then you're upset with the result of the storyline. There's never a devil's advocate in wrestling anymore, where it's, I like this wrestler and you're not giving this wrestler what he's supposed to have, and now I hate him.
This is why
if you notice, even though we had the intentions of creating the wrestling conversation, I really kind of stepped back on wanting to do that, because then I didn't want to turn into those people.
This is why I sent you the link to this podcast that I recently discovered through him being on another podcast, and then one of the dudes that he co-hosts podcast with, I follow on YouTube because he's like a 2K player.
Right.
He plays 2K. But it's called Through the Wire. And it's a basketball podcast, but it's not so much as rooted in the messiness of what is basketball.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not so much as, well, is Kawhi going to sit out because his contract not right? Or they're not speaking upon the gossip of basketball. It's more of Let's talk about the facts. Let's talk about the stats. And let me give you my opinion, but my opinion is more so educated because it's rooted with these numbers that I can show you on why LeBron James is better than your guy right now. And here's the statistical facts to prove it that he's playing better than your guy this season. And now here's my argument.
Right.
That's why I like that.
That is
like I sent you a text, and that's what I was trying to describe to you. That is how I now going forward want to talk about wrestling. Like, because at the end of the day, wrestling is still looked at as a professional sport, right?
Right.
It has a historical background. There are facts and stats within wrestling, whether it's fictitious or not, because they tell you who wins and who loses. There's still facts, there's still numbers. So if we're going to talk about wrestling, that's cool, but we don't always have to talk about the messiness of what is wrestling and all the backstage politics.
Right.
Let me tell you that Roman Reigns is the greatest of all time in this era. I don't think so. Oh, you don't think so? Well, look at this historical title run he's on, type shit. You know what I mean? And we can look at facts on why your guy is your guy and my guy is my guy. We can have a sensible debate that is not rooted in the messiness and just stupid, unfiltered opinions in which I feel people give on wrestling.
And I agree with you. And I don't like to go in depth in regard. I like to talk about surface things. Like recently, and this is not even talking about wrestling because we about to wrap it up in a minute. Like the next time we sat down and we talked about wrestling, I wanted to talk about the fact that do we feel like Roman's reign is too long? That's not being messy. That's a legitimate conversation. Because recently, Kurt Angle just got under fire because that's what he said. And he actually had some good points that I agree with him on. Being the fact that wrestling is not the same as it was where the people his record is going up against. Wrestling was different. Yet and still, here we looking at 3 years of holding the main belt, and the adverse effect of it is key players who should be somewhere on the same plateau of him are unhappy and are now making career decisions.
But okay, so as much as it is a business, it's a story-driven business.
It is.
And right now, this story is why we putting asses in seats. But
I hear you.
If you see this story that's putting asses in seats, you want to be the guy on the other side of my story.
Now
you want to be the man standing next to me because I'm getting paid.
But here's the story.
No.
Here we are in the story. Just like every book, there has chapters. There becomes a point where what's stopping other people from writing their own stories doesn't have anything to do with your story anymore. Roman's story at this point in time is better than the belts that he is holding. He doesn't need, I'm not saying lose all the belts. You don't need to hold both of them. So you either A, need to say you're so good and I'm tired of carrying these two belts. I'm just going to go ahead and create a Roman Reigns belt, and this is your belt. Therefore, somebody else can create another belt, and behind and on the side, there is always this superiority complex that Roman can be like, oh yeah, that's nice. You are champion over here on Raw, but you not me.
All I'm saying, bro, is nobody is wrong in how they feel. They just not understanding that what y'all want, we not at that part of this story right now. You just said everybody's got a chapter.
Right.
We are not at the point of Roman's chapter where it needs to end so we can begin another person's chapter.
But it kind of is.
It's not.
Here's the reason why I say that. And then we really finna wrap it up because Mimi be here in a minute.
Do you want to sacrifice?
Who asked me this? This is why I said it is. The only person in this moment who would have been a great story, you wrote out. Okay? You close his storybook ending. by losing to the big bad dragon and you didn't save the princess from the castle. You rode out. Okay. Now you got to battle the trolls over here for the time being. Roman has nobody on his level, and you haven't created nobody on his level. And the only other person that's on his level right now is literally doing the same thing he's doing with a different belt. So at this moment, there is nothing for him. Nothing for him.
Y'all you just gotta watch it play out, bro.
And I hear you, and I'm all for that. But what I'm saying is while we're watching you play out to see what's going to be next for you, there's a gang of people over here. The backyardigans are back there being childish.
We're your friends, the backyard.
But with that being said, because the backyardigans are being backyardigans, they are letting us know we have come to the end of this episode. Make sure. No, it's 8:30 anyway. We got to wrap it up anyway. It's temporary. Make sure you check us out on all streaming platforms. That's Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Make sure you download the Tone Deaf Radio app so you can go ahead and be able to access all the exclusive content here on TDR. Be on the lookout for new shows like the R&B Lunch Break, Sound Dropping will be back, Conversations with Juan, where we just gonna let bro be him for 30 minutes.
For sure.
And then a new show called The Re-Listen, where we actually are gonna take a whole album and see was it even worth it to begin with. Because some of them albums we thought was fire may actually be trash. All right. Because I might have to go.
Universal Mind Control going in there.
That's in there too. Because I don't know, bro.
Fuck Common.
Because since you right here, Juan, I don't know, Juan. The Carter 3 was good, but I think it might have been overhyped.
As far as what?
As they thought that was the greatest thing ever.
The Carter 3 is Wayne's greatest commercial success. It is not his greatest album.
All right. Tell people bye.
But on that note, follow me on Instagram at kicks_box_in. It is.